It's time for Ringside. Got a bunch of news lined up for you, ladies and gentlemen, so without further ado, we're just gonna SC Scoops claims that recently a memo was sent out internally by WWE brass emphasizing talent adhering to PG guidelines on TV. However, this apparently led to some discontent considering the nature of The Rock's promos on television, including so much profanity, something he recently joked about on social media. He's the owner, though. He's like the board member, TKO guy or whatever. Like, he's gonna come out and, like, do whatever he wants. I mean, he pretty much owns, like, a chunk of it, right? Like, man, I have no idea why this is going straight over my head, to be totally honest with you. I have no idea why I cannot sit here and figure out if he's, like, he's not the owner, but, like, there's a word for it, and I don't know. I'm assuming he's, like, a stakeholder. All I call him is the TKO board member. That's all I call him. Because, I know he's not the owner, but I also know that he actually is he has a very prominent role. And because of that prominent role, he's not allowed to do it. I need to preface that. He's not allowed to do it. But like, it's the equivalent of having your own house and being able to do whatever you want in it. So like, if you walked into someone's house and they had a bunch of pictures all over the wall of the same exact fruit, you'd be like, this is a bit odd, and I wouldn't do this in my house, but like, it's not your house. So like, yes, you can be a little bit upset about it, but like, there's nothing you can do because you're not the one who pulls the levers and turns the dials. And The Rock is, and so's Nick Khan, right? So obviously they're going to come out and be like, hey, just to let you know, you guys can't do that. But the reason why he's doing it is because, you know, does he pay the bill? Like, you know, is he in charge? Like, what does he do? What is his position in the company? Like, I know he's a board member with TKO, and I know TKO is partnered with WWE. What does that mean that he's talking about how he can get rid of the World Heavyweight Championship? So, like, does he have more power than Triple H? Does Triple H have more power than him? Can he book matches? You know, like, can he go, you know, they go to, like, the tryouts and stuff. Can he do that? He's gonna keep swearing, and the promos are gonna keep being like that, so I guess you're just gonna have to get used to it. Sticking with The Rock, Fightful Select claims his segment on SmackDown went over time and some changes were made because of it. However, Brian Gerwitz responded to this by saying, quote, the segment went 30 seconds under its allotted 20 minutes. So then why did they say that he went over time then? Listen, The Rock can do whatever he wants. I need you to make a label with your little label making device and just put that somewhere where you'll always be able to see it. The Rock can do whatever he wants. He has more power than a vast majority of those in WWE, especially the ones who are making the claims such as this one. Like, he's going over time and he's swearing and he's doing all this stuff, right? And you can be as mad about it as you want, but it's The Rock and he can do whatever he wants, okay? He has more power than you. He's way more significant, so he's going to do stuff like this and you're going to be upset, but I mean, there's not really much else to say about this. If he's going over time, that's not really fair. And they have every single right to go to The Rock and be like, hey, you're going over time and you're screwing up a lot of the planned segments and matches and whatnot. And we would kindly ask you to stop doing that. You know, adhere to the PG guidelines and the time slots and what have you. And it's up to The Rock to personally look at all of that and go, okay, you're right, I should stop doing that. Or, okay, but I'm just going to keep doing my thing. At that point, a line will be drawn in the sand of, you know, how everybody feels about The Rock making that type of decision. If he goes over time, he goes over time, right? No one can stop him. I highly doubt anyone's going to come out there personally and tap him on the shoulder, whisper in his ear. I doubt that they're going to do that, right? He's done way too much for the company for way too long. And, I mean, at this point, they're just like, yeah, sure, I see nothing wrong with this. Which, you know, explains the double standard meaning, right? So, there's really nothing to say about this. Right? Because this is nothing just like, oh, he went over time. According to Brian Gerwitz, he didn't go over time. So, I don't know where they're getting it from, right? Brian's telling me that he didn't go over time. So, one of you's lying. Either he went over time or he didn't go over time. So, I don't know where both of you are getting these statements from, right? But either way, the general consensus seems to be a bit of perturbance. I think that's the word, perturbance. They're upset with The Rock and the things that he's able to get away with. And my main argument is that, yeah, it's The Rock. You're going to have to just be upset about that, folks. You're really just going to have to sit there on your hands and pout and stare at the corner because it's The Rock. If Beyonce walked into Starbucks and said, let me get a Cooch Kopi Macchiato for free, they'd be like, yeah, sure. And if you walked up and said, let me get the same thing for free, and they'd be like, no, and you got upset, well, you're just going to have to deal with the fact that you're not Beyonce. So pay for it and leave. Don't swear and don't go over a lot of time. Are you The Rock? All right, well, you can do whatever you want. I don't know if this is just going to keep being a thing. We're just going to have to wait and see. because, I doubt that he's doing this on purpose, right? There's no way that he's just going around and just doing this knowing that he can get away with it. I think he's just doing it and he's getting caught up in the moment and he's not really thinking about it at that moment in time. And I'm pretty sure even if they did find him, he'd be able to pay for it. So at the end of the day, right, I don't think that this is not as detrimental as it is coming off as. Finally, for what it's worth, Booker T claimed on his podcast that Sami Zayn was, quote, so literally upset about the online heat that he got from fans after he beat Chad Gable to win the Gauntlet match on Raw last week. Sami, because I know you're watching this, you've been in the wrestling industry for a very long time, decades even, since I was in school, right? You've been around a lot of wrestlers. I'm sure you've come across many a wrestling fan, both washed and unwashed, right? What are they called? Pop vinyls or whatever, the pop figures, just stacked up in the back with a Sharpie pen in one hand and a 4x4 of a headshot in the other, being like, yeah, this is for my sister, can you sign it? Right? You've been around the world in 80 days. For you to sit here and to be quote unquote so upset, right, about the discourse between who should have won in a predetermined wrestling match, right? That doesn't make any sense to me. It makes zero sense. What are you upset about? Well, how they reacted. What do you mean? Well, they said some hurtful things. About what? About me winning. What? And you're upset about that? Sami, who cares? Are you literally a millionaire? What do you mean? Like, I don't understand what you're talking about. You can literally go to like a hotel at like the top floor and sit in one of those like corner baths with a bath bomb and be perfectly, and have literally, like, I'm not saying that like he needs to get over it, right? I'm not taking away the severity of what is being said online, but like, you've been in this industry for a long time. Surely after a while, you have to listen, I don't really have a whole lot of it on, what's the word? I don't have a gigantic community, but every now and again, my community will come up and they will tell me what they think about me, or they will tell me what they think about my content, or they will tell me what they think about where I got my sources from. And I will read it, and I will absorb it, and I will go on about my day, because these people are a bunch of doofuses. Okay? Half of them can't even put a synapse together to pour themselves a full cup of water. I'm not going to be affected by this. I refuse to be mentally, what's the word? Put over a barrel by individuals who have no idea who I am, or why I'm doing this, or all that. And for me, this dipshit, right, to not be affected by that, I highly doubt Sami's being, I highly doubt it. And you can't give me the argument of, okay, well, maybe he's just more in a mentally vulnerable state. And it's like, but, okay, that, you know what, to be fair, that's a completely other conversation to have, and we can't get into it, all right? The main point that I'm trying to make is that I find it very difficult that Sami Zayn, of all people, would be getting just disparaged, right, by the online backlash from him winning. I think that he's been dealing with this type of stuff for a very, very long time, and I can bet all the money that I've ever made in my entire life that this is not the first time that a fan, or fans plural, have come up to him and been like, hey, that thing that you did in that wrestling match, I didn't like it, boo you, and then walked off. I highly doubt it's the first time that he's come across something like that. I'm pretty sure he's not upset. Booker T has been knocking it out of the park these last couple of days. I'm over the moon about that. So I think Sami Zayn's fine. What do we talk about? All right, so Rock can swear and no one else can't, which I understand. I mean, the Beyonce thing was the strongest analogy that I had. He's more significant. He's a TKO board member, so he's going to be allowed to do whatever the heck he wants. I don't know if this is going to culminate to something, so we're just going to have to wait and see. He went over time. Again, he's allowed to do that. He's not allowed to do that. I don't know how to explain this, but like, yeah. Like, that's the only way that I can explain this. Oh, well, The Rock can do it. Yeah. Have you seen him? He's The Rock. Who are you? I'm Dale. From where? One of the writers. Hey, great, Dale, but you're not The Rock. You're not. So, you can't do that. So, turn around. Sami's not upset. He's not. He's not upset. Well, he is upset. Why? Well, because he doesn't like how they're making fun of him. Why are you letting that affect you? Why are you letting that affect you? Why? You, like, are big and strong and handsome, and you have wonderful hair, and you get paid a lot, and you're on TV almost every single day of your life, and I know how insensitive that sounds, but, like, there's a lot of, what's the word, variables or, examples where Sammy, yes, can be a little bit discouraged by, the online hate and whatnot, but at the same time, his lifestyle is so comfortable that something like that would not bother him for a very long time, just because of all of the access to many resources that he has at his disposal more so than other people. Shawn Spears told Fightful that he tried to enter the Royal Rumble this year, but, quote, it was too late. Okay, well, that stinks. Hopefully, do you think at the end of the Royal Rumble, he wouldn't be in the Rich Holland feud that he's in right now? Man. And finally, PW Insider says a ticketing issue is to blame for May TNA TV taping events not going on sale as scheduled this past weekend. Once it's resolved, a new on-sale date will be announced. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Oh my goodness gracious, folks. That's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. And as always, big hugs. Big hugs all around.